So today I'm going to focus on a little bit of tuning for basically very beginner tune to get you guys somewhat close. There's basically no right or wrong way to tune. The only wrong way to do it is obviously you burn your motor up. There's so many factors involved in tuning. Obviously your flying style, status and wear of your motor, your collective management, your outside temperature, size of helicopter. There's so many different things. Everybody's tune will be different. I've flown helicopters. A couple pros, I've flown their helicopters, and to me it just seems like they don't have any power whatsoever. But that's due to their flying style. They fly it, and it's just outrageously powerful. So I learned that real quick. There's no right or wrong. So I'm going to break it down really easy, show you one easy way to get you within where you want to be. Obviously not maximum power. I'll get into that later on how I do that for me. I'm going to show you guys how to get somewhat close to get power and not burn up your motor. So there's a couple ways to do that. Every morning I go flying, what I'll do is I'll open my high-end needle 4 clicks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Obviously that's going to be rich, and that's what I want. My temperatures here in Nevada, they vary from day to day, especially in mornings. In 3 hours it'll be 20 degrees difference. Now there's a lot of debate on using a temp gun, but a temp gun's good. Temp gun will show you exactly where you at. But the main thing is once you land to temp it, you got to temp it as soon as possible, because the longer the motor sits, the hotter it's going to get. So, I mean, you might have a 10-degree difference, which isn't a big deal. So what I do, I got a basic temp gun, very cheap Duratrax. Where I temp is right under the head, right here. So I found my motor runs best about 180. What I've learned over the years is you don't want to break 220 on the actual head. So you can actually temp it from the front, which is hard for me, which I don't do because I got the SwitchGlo Pro. So, but if I didn't have that, I can shoot the temp gun directly in there and temp it right where the glow plug's at. So you don't really want to break 220. As far as a mid-range needle, I don't really touch that too much. I tune the high first, and then I'll go into some aileron TikToks and just kind of see what the power's doing. One thing I learned over the years is, you know, I thought the leaner you get, the more power you get. That's not the case. You can get too lean to the point where the power drops off. The more fuel, the more power. But obviously, if you get too much fuel, you're going to be overly rich. So I'm going to fly some very basic maneuvers. There's some good tuning videos on the internet. Tim Jones, he did some real good tuning videos. I think if you get on YouTube, it's Tim Jones Nitro Tuning 101. Those were very helpful. The only issue I had when I was beginning was the maneuvers he was flying. I wasn't really able to do. So what I'm going to do is very basic maneuvers to the point where, you know, anybody can pretty much do them. What I'm going to be watching for is the smoke trail. What you want is a nice smoke trail all the way through. You'll be able to tell if it's real thin or it's too much. Obviously, if you have you know, oil and fuel spitting out of your pipe, you're way rich. So what you want to do when you're initially tuning, and what I do every morning, is you want to do some maneuvers so you can keep the throttle wide open as long as possible, so you know you're on the high needle. 2 ways to do that. Big loops. Doesn't matter, forward, backward, inverted, whatever you want to do, as long as you keep your throttle wide open. I tune with my governor on. There's been some debate on that. I tune with it on because that's how I'm going to fly it. So you can tune with it off. I've tuned with it off, and you know, I don't really see too much of a difference. So you'll kind of find that out, you know, as you start. The other maneuver you can do, very basic, is just do punch outs. You want to do them as long and as high as you can go, full stick, so you can keep on the high end as much as possible. That's the key to getting your bass tune. So I'm going to go ahead and fire it up. I richened up the main needle. I just got here in the morning. It's about 7 o'clock, so it's nice and cool. In about 2 hours, it'll be about 100 degrees. So we'll just go ahead and fire it up, and I'm going to do some loops and some punch outs, and hopefully you guys can see the smoke trail in my camera. I'm not too sure you will, but that's just one way to look at it. The other way is to temp it, obviously, like I was telling you guys. So I'll grab the temp gun, and I'll try to explain while I'm flying what we're doing here. Okay, let me fire it up. Okay, so I got the camera mounted to my head. So you probably won't be able to see me temp it. So when I land, I'm gonna stop the head as quick as possible and temp it right where I showed you guys before. So I'm gonna do some climb outs. Watch the smoke trail. You need to fly it for at least like 2 minutes to build some heat, and then I'm gonna do some big loops. Idle up. Nice big climb outs. Got a nice thick smoke trail. Back down. Nice full throttle climb out. Back down. So you can do that, you know, 5, 6, 10 times. You got to build heat in the motor. So I'm gonna do some full throttle loops. This is what I usually do. Full throttle. Full throttle. Full throttle. Full throttle. Full throttle. Do another climb out. Climb out. Do another big loop here. All right, I'm gonna bring it in and temp it. So right now I'm about 160. I like to run 180, 190, so I'm gonna go 2 in. Actually, I'm gonna go 3. So if you remember when I started, I only opened at 4 from yesterday when I flew. So I'm already 3 back, so I'm almost pretty much where I wanted to be. Now I still have a full tank. I run a fuel magnet. Towards the end of the tank it'll lean out just a little bit, but it's not as bad as most people make it out to be. Alright, so we're gonna do the same thing. Nice smoke trail. Full throttle, big loop. And I'm keeping the tail in for you guys. When you're a beginner, obviously tail in is good for orientation. Then we'll do a punch out. Nice smoke trail. Alright, let's temp her and see where she's at. So I got about a quarter tank left. I'm about, let me see here. Still about 160. I'm gonna go ahead and go in 2 more. Shut her down. I'm gonna go ahead and refuel. So usually every day, about 2 flights, you can have it dialed in to where you want to be for the rest of the day, and it shouldn't change much unless you got, like, you know, 20-30 degree difference from when you start flying till you know, you stop at the end of the day. So I'm gonna go ahead and refuel her. So now that I know I'm somewhat close, I'm gonna go ahead and just start flying some basic maneuvers and do that for about 2 minutes, and then I'll land and check the temp again. Try to keep you out of the sun. I don't know if you can see it, but I got a nice smoke trail. Go ahead and temp it real quick. About 187, right where I want to be. Let's start doing some TikToks and take a look at the mid-range. Anyway, what I basically just did, big loops, punch outs, little temp action, watch the smoke trail. That'll get you close to where you want to be. When you're first starting out, you don't need maximum power. You're gonna think your head bogs a lot, but as you get better at flying, your collective management will get better, and you'll realize you don't need full power all the time. All right, I'm gonna have to fly into the sun for a minute. Bear with me. I don't know what the camera's gonna do. Just gonna bring it, come back, do some TikToks here. Motor's great. So for me, this is good. You can see I'm doing my maneuvers for you guys. Tail in. Go ahead and temp it again for the hell of it. Tank's a little lower. Got about a quarter tank left. Let's see what she's doing. Once again, I'm running a fuel magnet, Novarossi 57, HR3DS V2. This motor's not pumped, it's not regulated, standard carb. If you're wondering what that beeping is when I land, it's the SwitchGlo Pro. I only got 7 channels, so I had to wire it into my throttle channel. So anytime my throttle goes below 30%, it kicks on. Got about a quarter tank left. I'm just gonna do a few flips. Just temped it. We're 185. That's where I like to run my motor at. Once again, under the head. And I should be good. Obviously my TikToks were pretty powerful and good. Head speed wasn't dropping off. Motor sounded good. I got good smoke trail. So that should just give you guys a basis if you're brand new. The only wrong way to do it is burn your motor up. Okay, so that's about it. So like I said, everybody has their own method, and the more you fly, obviously you're gonna get better. You're gonna start filling the motor, and it's just getting flights in over and over and over and over, and you'll start getting good at it. The only thing you don't want to do is obviously burn your motor up. I'll go ahead and mention real quick too, you want to make 100% sure that you have a leak-free system. You don't want any air introduced into your fuel system whatsoever. So you know, even a slight pinhole in the fuel line is going to cause erratic behavior when you're trying to tune. You'll just never get there. So I temped it the first time, and I got 185, and flew for 2 minutes. Tank got lower. I landed, and I'm at 186. So that's pretty good. I can pretty much say, you know, everything's working good. I just changed the fuel lines yesterday. So if you're having a hard time tuning and the temps are all over the place, and no matter what you do, you know, it's just not working, check all your fuel lines. Check everything you got. So, okay, I'll do another video. I'll go into some real tight flying, and, you know, we'll tune for a little more performance out of the